Booze and boards, boards and booze. Bad guys at large, it's bad news. No beer this time, so we won't lose. We found their lair, they'll pay their dues. The town is saved, so now we booze. Booze and boards, boards and booze. With Mickey and Jeb.
You know, I cracked that so you guys could see it, and then I second-guessed cracking it over the game was not the brightest idea, as Jeb makes beer come out of his nose right now.
No, I opened the beer and it just started foaming like crazy.
Oh, I didn't even shake that up on him. That's a bonus right there.
Yeah. That was very minion-like of you.
Evil minion?
Yep.
Maybe you should get in your mech.
Oh. I mean, it's probably hidden in this box because of how big it is.
Big box.
But yes.
So today's game is Mechs versus Minions.
Yep.
Which I didn't know about till I got freaking game, is based on League of Legends.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I didn't either until
I didn't know until he told me.
Actually, I saw it when I went to order it, but the point is, when I went to get the game, I didn't know that it was part of the League of Legends universe, or whatever you want to call it. So this is a
Riot Games.
Riot Games.
Oh, who can't? You can't have less than 3 babies. It's 14 and older, 2 to 4 players, and an hour to 2 hours.
Okay, and this is a co-op game. The premise of the game is you're in your own mech, and guess what is running around? Yep, you guessed it, minions. And so there are predetermined scenarios that you set up, and then you try to meet the objective cooperatively while you're playing the game. It's kind of, there's a bit of a drafting slash, I won't call it a deck, what would you call it, a tableau type of thing?
You don't actually like move your minions, like you don't control them, you just you kind of program them.
Yeah, you're programming like a computer, and you do that by drafting cards. So that, in a nutshell, that's the basics of how the game works.
Yep.
So shout out to Gary, who you guys know plays with us often. He's the one that was the game. He was like, just kept talking about it, and I had a little bit of extra money, so I was like, you know what, most of the time him and I are on the same page when it comes to games, so I'm just going to take a chance and buy it. So, yep, so here it sits. Jeb and I have played it once, and had a good time with it, so...
one thing to note is that we did not record the intro scenario, or whatever it's called, the one that teaches you how to play, because that's kind of like... You can probably find that anywhere online. So we just started with the first mission. So that's the mission that we'll do for this episode. Yeah,
the thing that just basically teaches you the mechanics takes about 5 seconds to play. So we just kind of jumped into the to the scenarios. Perhaps when we go up through setup, maybe we run through the tutorial because it's so quick. Yeah. I don't know. We haven't decided yet. But anyways, yeah. So that's about it, and I guess we can get right to it. There's a crap ton of components, although a lot of it's figures. So
yeah.
But I guess unless Jeb has anything else to say, we'll be right back, and we'll show you the inside of this pretty massive box.
Sounds good. All right, so we are back with components. So we're gonna open up the box and show you guys
see all the goodies inside. Excuse me. Yes, I'm childish. Let's start with this one. I'll show you that. This are your mechs already painted. So cool. They are all so cool. So there are those. Notice, yes, everything comes in a storage tray. So here's tray number 1. Actually, I don't know if they're stacked in the order that they came in. We already took it out. I'll take this off real quick, and we'll just point stuff out. Jeb can hop in if he needs to say anything.
Nope.
So what you'll notice is besides the mechs that most of the I think all actually, all the figures in the tray are just loads and loads of minions.
Yep.
And then other components. So here's your two D6s, and then you have some D12s with rune symbols on them. So there's one there and one there. Coins, and a bunch of minions. Here are my gear rings that I didn't get. When I contacted customer service, I wasn't really happy with the response I got, and it still, as of this recording, is unresolved. Oh, and what are these, Jeb? The crystals?
Yeah, the crystals that are
crystals. All right, so that's tray 1, tray 2.
I think that's all minions.
I believe so, but we're going to open it up and show you anyways. I'm pretty sure that this is just a crap ton of minions.
Yep.
Who thinks Mickey will ever paint all those? Let's not be silly. Mickey's not been very good about painting lately. He was on a tear, and then he wasn't. Okay, so, and then we have the loads and loads of books here. Some of these were supposed to be on top, actually. Alright, so, let's see. These are at the actual, we got a tutorial and the field guide. So those are the main, there was a cheat sheet, there it is. Alright, and cheat sheet. So those are non-secret stuff. We've opened just 2, 3, no.
2.
2. 2 in the tutorial or whatever. So these have been opened. We've done these. You get like a new scenario book for each of these envelopes. These are all still sealed because we haven't touched them yet. Alright, so there's all that. Tons more minions. I'll note that they made the slots for the minions. Some of the minions just have a
shield.
Some of the minions just have a shield, and others have an axe. But they made all the spots that they will take. They could take an axe, so you don't have to hunt around, which is really, really nice. It was really, really good thinking. So good. All right, so there's that. And then player boards. Honestly, was not expecting something so gigantic.
Yeah.
So nice to work with. You're not cramped at all. High quality cardboard. I had that sitting out for a week after we played because I was lazy and didn't put it away. No warping whatsoever. It was fantastic. All right, so can you guys see in there? Jeb, can you tell me if they can see inside or we need to tilt?
They can see somewhat inside.
How about that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, unless there's something hugging the bottom part, then.
All right, so on the inside, and I'll pull some of these out. We have the compass, the directional compass. All right, we have the main tracker board. Nothing on the back of that.
Yep.
And then we have a ton of double-sided scenario boards. Okay, so I'm not going to take all those out because they're just different backs and stuff. We have the bomb. And we have the hourglass. What a great addition to the game because, oh my gosh, not letting you think very long.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what that's going to be like with 4 players?
I know.
Oh my gosh. So good. All right, so then...
There's also 3 minions that they squeezed in down there as well.
Yep, there's 3 more minions here. This is your main deck here. I forget what it's called. The gear deck or something because it's got a gear. I don't know. I'm just making crap up. Your individual, what are they called? Powers or something?
Yeah, and you get those along the way.
Yep. And then these are the cards that nobody likes. These are the bad things, the damage cards, right there. And like Jeb said, what have I not talked about, Jeb?
Maybe the giant elephant in the room.
Oh yeah, because we don't even know what the giant box elephant thing is. Because look at this. Look at this thing with a big axe sticking out. Oh, who has axes? Little tiny minions.
Oh no.
Who has axes? This great big box that says do not open yet. So, oh my gosh. Oh, what is that? More stuff? More stuff? Oh my gosh. What is that under there? We have no idea. We have no idea. But maybe we shouldn't look at it yet because I don't remember seeing anything about that. Ho ho ho. Yeah, all kinds of good. You know, this is like, it's almost it's almost like a merge of a
legacy game.
Legacy game, but like just a little bit that we played, I would do those scenarios again because you're gonna shuffle the card, play with a different mech. It just
and you don't have to tear anything up or stick anything on the.
Exactly. All right, so we put that back in.
Well, we don't have to worry about that.
Okay, we don't have to worry about that. Jeb says.
So that's everything for components. So I think we are going to get into setup. All right, so we've kind of cleaned up the tables, so the big box is out of the way, and now we are going to do the setup, which is actually unique to each mission, but we're just going to go through the tutorial setup just to give you an idea of how it goes.
Right. We're counting on all you guys being able to read.
Yeah.
So this is like really simple, but again, like Jeb said, you follow the instructions, so to speak.
All right, so they have a diagram of how everything is set up. So each player is going to identify their favorite yordle and grab their command line and mech. So Mickey has, I think that's the wrong dude.
Crap.
Here is.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I forgot that was pretty, like it was kind of a cool, it's important, even though they look the same, they are slightly different because everybody has a different overdrive power. Just FYI, so I have Heimerdinger.
All right. And you're going to put the command line in front of you. Mickey has it set up.
So you guys can see it.
A little bit more. Now you're good.
All right. So so there you go. So it's kind of not in front of me. But.
And then if everybody was sitting around the table, you'd have them in front of them making a square.
Right.
Anyway.
Just as an aside to that, like Jeb said, if you had like this table's a little bit big, but if you had like a perfect square table and you set it up as each person sitting on a side of the board, just important to note, it won't confuse you too much if you don't sit like that.
Right.
And the reason for that is because of the compass that you'll see in a bit, so everybody will always know what direction they should be looking for.
Yep. All right. Look. Next, you're going to grab the map tiles that are pictured. So in the tutorial, there's only one, and Mickey has it already ready. So he placed it down. Then you are going to locate the crystal compass and orient it in to the tile map as shown in the setup.
Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Oh, wow. Look at Mickey with the memory.
All right.
Better than Jeb.
Yeah, I wouldn't have remembered that. Then you're going to grab the command card deck and shuffle it and place it anywhere on the table.
All right, command cards are the ones with the gears on the back right there. So shuffle, 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 shuffle. Uh-oh, Jeb's breaking stuff, people.
All right. So that's the beginning part of the setup. So now we're going to move on to actually populating the board. So you are going to place character-specific mechs on any of the starting spaces that are shown in the book. And for this one, right? Yep, it's the two underneath the green.
So either one here, one here, one here, one here. Again, we're just showing you how to set up, so I'll just place it. Your mech in this game does have like instructions to either turn 90 or 180. So when you place, it could be kind of important to orientate it however you'd like. So I'm just going to go like that. I have no idea what I'm going to get for cards, but it is kind of important to note that position matters, or the way you place it.
Next, you are going to locate the school piece and place it on the tile map. So this is kind of like overlaying.
Yep. So this is the school, and that goes here on this scenario, the tutorial.
Then you are going to grab 4 crystal shards and place them as shown on the picture. So it's the top 2, and then top 2 here, and then diagonal to them. And then you are going to locate the rune die and the
D6.
D6. Wow, I cannot.
Jeb's got fat fingers.
That's okay, I can rip his plastic.
Hey, I don't like Jeb.
There we go. Alright. So there's actually 2 rune die and 2 d6. I can't get the other rune die out at the moment, so...
Let's not worry about it.
Yeah. Alright, and I believe that's everything for setup. One thing that...
No damage cards on the first scenario?
They bring them in later in the tutorial.
While you're playing it? Okay.
But there's a picture of them in the setup, so you can go ahead and put them out on the board if you want. But other than that, that's everything of what the tutorial says for setup.
Okay. So I guess what we'll do is we'll show you a couple other things before we get into gameplay. So eventually you'll have a tracker here. It tracks minion kills, and then you get, which in turn, every time you hit 5, moves the team gears up. And then you have a doom tracker, and you have runes, which are fancy little coins somewhere in the box around here for that. Other things that you're going to see is the mechs have special cards unique to them that can be earned during the game. So each pair has a picture of the mech that it belongs to.
I think those actually come into play in the missions, right? Not
Yeah, I'm just showing other things that's gonna happen to them throughout, because the tutorial is so basic.
Yeah.
This is how you take damage in the game through these cards, which gets, if Jeb and I remember correctly, does get introduced while you're playing the tutorial. The last but not least, a bomb that gets used during missions, and an hourglass, so there's a timer that comes into play during drafting, which sucks. Alright, so basically that's it. With all of this stuff here, you would be able to set up anything that you open in a mission pack. You just read it, and you know, obviously the game board would get bigger with other tiles, or
yep.
or other tiles are going to have different configurations with the runes. We haven't even seen much of, you know, those types of things yet, because we've only opened 2 envelopes. So, you got anything else, Jeb?
The only other thing is assigning first player, and that's something that you can do however you want. They recommend assigning colors to people and then rolling a die and see
which isn't bad. The hourglass is also the first player token. That's why it's got a big number 1 on it, so that'll get passed. So you know first player actually is important in this game, in terms of the drafting part of the game, particularly with 3 players also, because in 3 players somebody's going to get 2 cards, everybody else will get 1.
Alright, so I think we're good with setup, so let's talk about how to play the game.
Okay.
So we're kind of starting off with the tutorial just to introduce things. So the player phase consists of drafting cards, playing cards, and then executing commands. So the first thing is to draft the cards. So the first player is going to deal 5 command cards face up on the table and pick one. And then in clockwise order, each player is going to pick a card until 4 cards have been picked, and then discard the remaining cards.
Alright, so we're going to pretend that Jeb is actually playing, even though there's
this part, yeah.
Right, even though there's no board for him set up. So I'll be first player. I'll put 5 cards out. When we played with 2 players, Jeb and I just passed the cards back and forth. We picked them up, passed them back and forth. Oh wow, that's a really sucky shuffle.
Yep.
Guess somebody's getting ripsaw, huh?
Yep.
Well, maybe not.
Or scythe.
Have to, alright, so I would go first. I'll take a scythe, if you don't mind. Yeah. And this just goes in front of you for now.
I'll take a ripsaw.
And then I'll go ahead and take the Omni Stomp.
And I will take the scythe. So this last card gets discarded. So
this would just come up with a discard pile. I'll put it right here for now.
Alright, so once that's done, you move on to the next step, which is playing command cards. So to play command cards, all the players are now going to choose where they place the command cards on their command line, like which slot they want to put them in. cards cannot be saved for later, so if you don't slot them, you're going to lose them.
Right. All right, so let's talk about this player board a little bit here. So you see you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are your slots. Each slot can hold a maximum of 3 cards. You'll notice that they have nice little divisions here. So the cards can stack. So like if I played my green card, maybe in, I don't remember the names of the colors, so I would play that and I'd cover up that first slot right there, because in the future I would probably be able to get another green card. You have to play the same color on other cards. So like if Jeb covered that and then you cover that, and now, right, and so you see that he's got the matching. Basically what that means is he's got his level 2 ability, etc., etc. However, he doesn't have to do that, like stack them first turn. He can put them anywhere on his track. So perhaps my second move would be to put my blue one there. Yep, I skipped a space. I could even put it all the way at the end. I'm going to say that I don't know this game well enough to be toying around with putting stuff all over the place. But I feel like I have enough strategy that leaving spaces is a wise idea. So that's what I'm going to do. I would play mine like that.
And then just something to note, like Mickey said, if it's the same color, you can place it on top. However, if you slot a different color, everything that's underneath it goes away.
Yep.
So it gets discarded.
Yep.
So, alright, so everybody has slotted their cards. So the next thing is to execute the command lines. So starting with the first player and then going in turn order, you are going to execute your command line. It's pretty much start with the first slot, resolve the effect, move to the next slot.
Right.
If the slot's empty, you just skip it.
Right. So in my case, I would look at my first card. I only have 1, so I'd look at the level 1, and it says move 1 space forward or to either side. So basically I can go here, here, or here, right? No diagonal. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and slide 1 space down.
Alright, so he skips the second slot since there's nothing.
And then my next one says you must turn 90 degrees and then target 1 or damage 1. I don't know how it's worded. Okay, so
damage 1 target within range of 1.
Okay, so I have to move 90 degrees. So Mickey didn't think that out very well. Probably should have moved forward. But anyways, I will turn this way, and then I look, and it says I do the 1 damage within range. I look at my diagram, and it says the entire 8 spaces around me. Well, my own space too, but nothing can be in my own space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So stuff that's not on the board doesn't count.
So actually that ended up being good because
for the tutorial only,
right,
these crystals, if they take 1 damage, they get destroyed.
Boom. So I destroyed a crystal.
Yep. And then the way the tutorial works is once everybody executes their commands, they'll start over drafting again. So it's actually a shorter version of what an actual turn is. So I don't know if you want to run through one more or if you just want to...
Yeah, so what would happen now is I would slide this over to Jeb. Jeb is, even though I'm dealing, Jeb would be doing the dealing now.
Yep.
See how well we shuffled.
I'll take a speed.
I'll take the memory core.
I'll take a chain lightning.
And I'll take speed also.
And then the last one gets
discarded. And this would get discarded.
Then we would all slot our stuff, so Mickey will go ahead and slot. And then another thing for the tutorial is if you step on these crystals, they take a damage and get destroyed.
Yeah.
So the tutorial starts by just getting you used to how your mech works, and the whole goal right now is to destroy the 4 crystals.
Okay, and then I will slot speed right there, and you guys will get the. I think I got this pretty good this time.
All right, so let's execute. Pretend that I did all my stuff, so now it's Mickey's turn, so he's going to execute his line.
Alright, so notice that I got another green one, so now I have a level 2 green command. I'm going to look at my first slot. I'm now level 2, and then it says turn 90 or 180 and deal 2+ cards. So what that means is that at the beginning of the next draft phase, 2 more cards are going to come out instead of 5, so we'll have a bigger choice.
That's when you're first player. But that is...
Yes.
Next phase, he actually is
Right.
first player. So.
Right. Okay. So, I am going to... I'm going to turn 90 degrees.
All right.
I'm going to go to my speed, and it says move forward 1 to 2 spaces. I'm going to move forward 2. Remember, Jeb said if I land on it, I kill it. Then I'm going to do my scythe, which I must turn 90 degrees. Boom. I target everything in the square around me, so this dies too. And this just means that Mickey is way better than Jeb because he almost cleared the board for everybody.
All right. So I think you guys understand this part of the game. So we're just going to speed ahead and assume Mickey destroyed the last crystal. So in the tutorial it says, once all 4 are destroyed, move on to the next thing. So it's an escalation is what it's called. And it says incoming damage. The damage deck is now introduced. And damage is represented by the cards from the damage deck. Exploding crystal shards. Starting with the current first player, draw 1 damage card and follow the instructions. So once you had destroyed the crystals, they now kind of like damage everybody. So I will draw 1 and I will resolve it off screen. Nobody sees it. And now Mickey draws his.
And I have stuck controls, and I move 1 space to the right. All the damage cards have, there's 3 different damage cards, right?
I believe so.
And this is...
there's glitch, system, and slot.
Right, so this is glitch?
E is slot.
This is... No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
It's going to go put in, you put it in a slot.
Alright. So, can you put it, you can put it in any slot. Can you put it in an empty slot? I can't remember.
I will read what you do.
Okay.
Alright, so Mickey got a slot damage card. What happens when you get one of these is you will execute the instructions on the damage card first. So first thing Mickey has to do...
Move 1 space to the right.
And that's right for...
Based on how he's looking, so that would be here.
Yep. Next, you're going to roll the number die, so the D6.
3.
Place the damage card on top of any command cards in that slot that matches the number die. So...
I just screwed my slot 3.
Yep. If the slot is already damaged, replace the old damage with the new damage. Whenever you execute your command line, you have to execute what is on that card.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how slot damage works. Glitch damage cards are an immediate effect.
What's it look like?
A trash can.
That's a glitch.
And when you get that, you just immediately do what it says and discard it.
So that's like an instant, basically, if you want magic terms.
System damage cards look like a 3.5 floppy. They have ongoing effects, and you place them near your command line to keep track of them. So they don't actually go on your command line.
What? Okay, evidently we
Not yet.
don't have that.
Alright.
Which I thought we did, but we don't. Alright, so, like Jeb said, the glitch one, right? Glitch gets thrown away. And
System goes off to the side, and slot goes into a slot.
Okay, and so system damage is ongoing? Is that the...
Ongoing, so you'd have to actually hit a card to repair it
Gotcha.
to get rid of it.
Okay.
Alright, so that was the escalation. So now it moves on to a new tutorial objective. You need to eliminate all minions. So we need to place minions on the board the way that the diagram shows.
Again, it's going to be a lot of referencing to whatever you have in, but we're going to at least show you a teeny bit here.
2, 4, 6, 7. How many do I give you?
You give me 5.
So on top of the 2 green runes, the 4 spots where the crystal shards were, and then 1 right here. Or, sorry, 1 over. Yep. Alright, so we placed the minions on the board. They can only spawn in empty spaces, so if Mickey had actually been in one of those, it wouldn't have spawned. So That's the setup. So now they are going to introduce the minion phase. So the way a turn works is you start with drafting cards, you play your cards, you execute your command line, and now the minions get a turn. So we'll start a new round, and nope, those are damage.
But I'm first player.
Yeah, so Mickey is first player.
Hey, look, we have some variety.
Take that.
What's this one?
I'll just take whatever.
Scythe?
I don't care.
Alright.
Alright, so we drafted. So now we are going to slot them. So Mickey cannot slot on top of that until he actually repairs it. So.
Oh, I can do that while I'm doing this, right? Instead of
yes,
slotting, right?
The new ability that is introduced in the tutorial is that there is repair and reprogram. So the cards that you draft at the very bottom, it will say to scrap it, you'll repair 1 damage or you will swap 2 slots.
Yep. So basically, I have one that says scrap repair damage. I'm going to discard this, and guess what? My damage is now gone.
All right. So Mickey has slotted and repaired. So now we'll execute command lines. So let's go through that.
Alright, so I can turn any direction that I want. So I'll pick this way. I can move 1 to 2 spaces. This scenario
minions,
says
yep.
if I step on them, they are also 1 damage. So I kill it. Then I will go to this. It says I have to turn 90 degrees. I'll turn 90 degrees. I do a damage to everything in the square just like before. So both of these die. Mickey is the man.
Alright.
Jeb does nothing because he has no mech on the board.
Yep. Alright, so now we're going to introduce the minion phase. So, after all the players have done their stuff, the next step is minion movement. So, for the tutorial, you are going to roll the rune die. So, I'll roll this. And it is red. So, it says move all minions 1 space in the corresponding direction of the compass. So, I rolled red. So, red is this direction.
Yep.
So, everything's going to move 1 space that way. The ones at the top can't move any further. So after minion movement is spawning new minions. In the tutorial there is no spawning, so we just skip over that. It's given as an example in the missions, so you'll learn that later, but it's pretty much...
But now more crap comes out.
Yep. And then the last thing is minions are going to attack. So minions do damage, do 1 damage to adjacent mechs. And adjacent is orthogonal, not diagonal. So in this situation, Mickey would not take a damage. However, if he did take a damage, for each damage he takes, he needs to draw a damage card and resolve it.
It's so awful.
Yeah, so try not to get surrounded.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then that's it for the minion phase. So it starts back to the drafting, and you just do these turns until you get the victory condition for whatever mission you're on. For the tutorial, all you're looking to do is destroy all the minions. So it's kind of play until
Yeah, we're not going to keep drafting and show
you.
I mean, you got the gist of how things die and how this works, and I only had 3 slots. If that looked overly simple, trust us.
Yeah.
They make it, they ramp it up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
one key thing to note is when you open the mission packs, you'll get a rule book and then possibly some extra cards that'll get added in. The rule book will tell, or the mission book will tell you everything that you need to do, how to set up, any rules that apply. If there's new mechanics that it introduces, it'll tell you that. Like for instance, the bomb, there's one that'll be like, the bomb is used in this scenario, so it'll tell you how to interact with it, where to place it, what it does, all that stuff.
at this point, those are the basics. You can't, with this game, you really can't tell everything. Well, first of all, we haven't opened everything, and secondly, it's kind of like, you guys want to kind of be surprised too. But, however, if you don't care about that kind of stuff, then, you know, keep watching. I would also say that I don't think it would be too much of a spoiler if you watch the very first episode, like Envelope 1, if you wanted to see a little bit more in-depth, gameplay. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking,
right.
but if you want to see us play longer than about 5 seconds, you can watch a little bit more.
As the missions go on, more cards and stuff get added,
right.
So then you're getting more of a variety and stuff. So it builds upon itself.
Right. So yeah, that's about it. So Jeb and I will be back in a minute for a 2-player game of Mechs versus Minions, and
the mission is Operation Short Fuse.